Final call for boarding. Final call for boarding for the last remaining passengers. Last remaining passengers on Philippine Airlines.
A-Train is in the house! Howdy, folks. A-Train coming at you with another episode of SimAirport in early access. This is going to be a tutorial episode, part 3 of the little series I'm doing. The first one, we kind of made our little base career airport here functional. The second one, we got into some building basics as we started equipping it out. And now we're going to load it up and get things rolling. As we prepare to start accepting our first flights, we're going to add some basic amenities and we're going to set up the schedule. We're at 11:45 p.m. And so we want to keep an eye on, we're going to pause there, because if we hit midnight, then the schedule's set for the next day. You do not want to lose flights because you didn't have things checked. So always pause right before midnight, see if there's new flights that you want to pick up. And in some cases, like with early on where we are, we're only going to have a limited number of flights available. So really, it's not going to be until day 3 that we really start to get more flights in. Okay? So, and really day 3, day 4. Day 2, you're not going to have a whole lot because we've got to generate some passenger interest. All right, so we rezoned everything. So we've got drop-offs outside of ticketing. Pickups are outside of baggage claim. We put our ticketing desks in. We put some ticketing kiosks in. Kind of made the zone a little smaller. We added a queue line to get to our 2 ticket desks. Any passengers can use that queue line. We put in a CFO's office. We researched the CFO, put in a CFO office. We currently have set up to research pricing. That's going to take about 20 hours. So during tomorrow, day 2, we'll get that complete. And then on day 3, we'll be able to bump up our prices on the runway usage and on the passengers using the terminal, and thus make some more money. We went in our restrooms and we took out a sink in each one and put in a garbage bin, except this one we put the garbage bin right here. Security, we rearranged it a little bit, moving the initial bag scanner location and metal detector to create a nice smooth flow through here. We have the ID check stand, then you go through bag scanning, then you go through metal detector. We added a second line because we're going to want to be able to accommodate more packs. Then we also built this little hallway that allows our arriving packs to bypass security, because we don't really want them flowing through there. We want them to come out this way. They'll pass through the security exits, go to bag claim, or go out the door to pickups and be gone. That's a good thing. They're out of our hair. Over here at the gate, we put in, we moved the first gate agent desk up closer to the door and out of the direct line of approach for the packs. They'll come right out of this middle. These 2 doors right here basically are what slide aside to accommodate them. So we moved this gate agent desk just over. We added 2 more. We added queue lines. We've got 1 queue line for first class, that's the blue, and 1 for coach, that's the green. So what do we want to do now? Well, we've got some options. And what we're going to focus on this episode is just doing some final equipping out of amenities in the terminal to get it ready for our first flights, which will be tomorrow on the clock. Okay? So we're going to put in some benches for seating. Benches are 4 tiles wide. You've got the old school style that look like ones that you've probably seen in airports all over the U.S. and maybe around the world. And those are $500, but so are these nicer looking leather ones. I like the leather ones. You can see how they orient, which direction. Okay? You don't want to put it this way, have OJ hurtling over it. So, all right. Let's look at, there's the restrooms there. We're going to keep that hallway fairly open. We'll go ahead and put our first set of benches here. Now, what you want to be cognizant of is the flow of passengers, particularly arriving passengers. Okay? And what we mean by that is how they're going to come out of this hallway. They're going to take the most direct route possible to get to where they want to go. So they're going to come out of the doors, cut this corner. The ones that need to go to the bathroom are going to go into the bathrooms. The rest are going to stampede along and out this hallway through the security exit. Some are going to stop at the baggage claim. Most of the rest are going to zoom right out the door. So you want to try to keep that path clear. We've got some room over here because I changed up the way I was going to do the baggage carousels. I think initially I was going to do them vertically. It would be a little further out of the way, but that's not a problem. They'll work their way around it. Okay, so I dropped in a couple of benches. Now, why did I put a gap between them? Here's why. Because there's other things you want to put with the benches. First thing you want to put is garbage cans or bins. We're going to put one here. We're going to put one here. We're going to rotate this 180 degrees. Put one there and put one there. Also, you want people who are hungry to have something to eat. We're going to put in a food vending machine. And this is one's facing to the right. Now it's facing downward towards us. Now to the left and to up. I'm going to drop that in there. Then we're going to put in a plant. And that's going to improve the environment. We're going to put one on each end as well. Okay? We're going to improve the environment with a few plants here and there. Okay, so we'll put one there as well. The other thing we're going to do is scroll up here and get a flight info display, and we're going to improve the information availability for our packs. So we're going to put that there. We're going to scroll over here. We are going to put one right here by baggage claim. We're going to put one up here between these two ticketing desks. And we're going to set up a little deal here in the middle. We're going to put a few benches here between the doorway just to make it look kind of pretty. We're going to put plenty of space between them. That's against the wall. We want 2 tiles of space between. We're going to flip this one around, put that there, go 2 in between, flip this around to here. Now, why did I flip it around? Because I'm going to put this in between them. Boom, boom. Pretty. Okay. Next thing, we're going to throw a couple more flight info displays. We're going to turn those sideways, put them here and here. Put a couple of garbage bins here and here. And we'll put one at the end here and one at the end here. Okay. A couple other places we can put garbage bins would be, say, here by security, and then here by baggage claim, and then here by the exit door. Okay. And then a flight info display we will put right here. These flight info displays, you'll see how that works here in a few minutes. Once they get all built, I will show you how they work. In fact, we're going to put one here as well. And we can't put it that way against this wall. So we're going to put it sideways. And then we're going to drop in a couple more things. We're going to put in an ATM machine. So it's facing upward, so we're looking at the back of it. It's flat. Right? Now it's looking to the right, now it's looking down, now it's looking left. We're going to put one there, and we're going to put one up here in the entry area. So if somebody comes in and needs some cash for a plane ticket, boom, there they've got it. Okay, so now we've built some amenities. I could build a few more benches here at the gate, I suppose, and that will make people happy because they'll have plenty of places to sit. You like to have a place to put your butt when you're at the airport. Yeah, let's put that there. Let's turn this 180 degrees, turn this 180 degrees, and turn this. So there, lots of benches. We'll put in a couple more plants. There's different plants to choose from. And we're going to put in some garbage bins. So we'll put a garbage bin, say, here, and then we'll put a couple of plants. There and there. Okay. So I think that's pretty good for our initial build out. All right. Now let's get down to business. What we've got is to set up our schedule for tomorrow, which is the next day. It's day 2. Again, do this before midnight. So we're going to click on 2 things. We're going to open up airline interest, which shows our airlines and available flights. We're going to move that up here. Then we're going to click on our master flight schedule. We're going to click on this little bottom right corner here, flatten this out and widen it out so it fits more across the screen. We can see more. Then we're going to grab it here, click and drag down to the bottom. Okay. Now, we can't book anything between midnight and 4 a.m., so we can go ahead and slide this to the right so that 4 a.m. is at the left. Let's see what we've got available. Aerotime is offering us a morning flight and a night flight. So this is between 4 a.m. and noon and after 6 p.m. before 10 p.m. A Forward Air has a morning flight, 2 afternoon flights, which are between noon and 6 p.m. Pacific Airlines has one after 6 p.m. And an Aerostar has some flights through the day. So we're going to click on Aerotime. Now, what are we looking at? The airline, we have the acceptance bonus, which is how much cash we're going to get per new flight that we schedule. Termination fee is double that. So if you drop a flight and cancel it, you have to pay extra. Here's the trick. You want to be mindful initially on what aircraft you're picking up. Because if you pick up, say, Pacific Airlines is going to have a Beechcraft 1900. This is a 19 pax aircraft. It's dinky. Okay, it's a little Queen Air. If you get offered a 737, that's 140 passengers. So then you're going to have to cancel the Pacific Airlines flight to get the bigger airplane, which is going to cost you money. If you've got the money, it's not a big deal. But why waste it? So let's be smart from the get-go. Let's see what Aerotime has. They have a Boeing 707 in the morning, and they have an Embraer 195 at night. Now, the 707 is the biggest aircraft we're going to start with. It's up to 180 passengers. If we get a 767, we're not going to take that right away because we really don't have the facilities for that many passengers. It'll carry up to 250. That's a lot. That's up to almost 500 passengers throughput, which means arriving and departing into your terminal in one airplane. Okay? So we're going to be a little bit smart and a little bit conservative. We will take, well, we're going to look, 2,500. Let's see what we get paid by a Ford Air. 2,800. They have a 767 in the morning, which we're not going to take. They have two 737s in the afternoon. Those are good. I like 737s. 140 packs, easy to work with. We're going to skip Pacific Airlines and go to Aerostar. Aerostar has a morning 707, an afternoon Embraer 195 and 737, and a night Embraer 195. The Embraer 195 is 90 passengers. 707 is 180, 737 is 140. The ERJ 195 is 90. And then if you see a CRJ 900, I believe, those are 70 packs. And then if you see a Bombardier Dash 8, that's 50 packs. All right? So we're going to go back to the beginning because this is where we have the 707 in the morning. Accept that flight. It drops it in here at 4 a.m., which is the earliest time we can have it. We're going to scoot this over just a little bit. I want to show you what happens. If you mouse over it, it tells you all you want to know about the flight, okay? Including right-click to terminate this flight contract and remove it from your schedule going forward entirely. Termination fee applies. In this case, it would be $5,000. We just picked up $2,500. Okay, and if you want to see it, it shows up here. $2,500 Aerotime flight acceptance bonus just now. All right, let's close that out. Now, if you mouse over, you get that little plus sign. If you left click and hold, see the green zone now? That's the area where you can position this flight as long as it's green. And there it's red, here it's red. Your morning flights can arrive at noon. That's the latest time. They can't arrive at 12:15, they can arrive at noon. But we're going to start this one at 4 a.m. We're going to leave it at 2 hours, but I'm going to show you how to change this on another flight, okay? So that's how you move these around. Now, once you add more gates, you use the same principle and drag them downward to gate A2, A3, or whatever, okay? So that's how you move flights around on your schedule, okay? Now, let's look and see. We've got a Ford Air has a morning flight, but I think it was a 767. Yeah, we're not going to take that. Aerostar has a morning flight, and it's a 707. We're going to accept that. Now, that dropped in at 6:15. We don't want 15 minutes between flights. That's too tight of time. What will happen is the incoming aircraft will check to see if its gate's open 20 minutes prior to its scheduled arrival. If the gate is not open, it will delay if you don't have a standby gate. We'll get into standby gates another time. But you want to move this so it's at least half an hour. In our case, we're going to back it up to an hour. It doesn't cost you anything to move around on the schedule. And those changes will take place the next day. All right? So, this is a 707, 180 max packs. We've got a 2-hour window. For it to arrive, it'll come in usually about 15 minutes early, get on the gate right about 7 a.m., deplane, clean, and then start boarding. We've got 3 gate agents. We should be able to handle that load in that time frame. If it's a problem, we have room to expand and add another gate agent desk. We built that into the plan. Okay, so there's our morning flight availability. Let's look at the afternoon flights. Here, a Forward Air has two 737s. Well, let's take one of those. It's going to drop in at noon. 737's 140 packs. I feel pretty good that we can get that done in less than 2 hours. So if you see the cross symbol there, that's where you click and grab and move it. Now, an afternoon flight cannot arrive before noon. See how it goes invalid when you move to 11:45? It cannot arrive after 6 p.m. So it goes red at 6:15. It can land at 6 o'clock and go after. It can land at 5 o'clock and go until after. All right, so we're going to line this up at noon. Now look, we're going to mouse over the right edge. Left click and hold. And now watch what I'm doing. I'm dragging to the right. I'm dragging to the left. We can change the gate time from 90 minutes, an hour and a half, in 15-minute increments, all the way up to 5 hours max. 90-minute minimum, 5-hour max. This is part of the reason why I do not like the Beechcraft 19, because 90 minutes, you could stand there and throw people onto the airplane literally and get it done in less than 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real waste of time. Now, if we had 4 gate agents, I'd be okay with an hour and a half. We'll watch it. I'm going to move this to an hour and 45 minutes. When you make a change, you get the pretty little ding dong bell. Okay? Now, for sake of variance, just a little bit of diversity, we're going to take this other Forward Air 737. We're going to move it a little later, though. We're going to move it to 4:15, just to get it out of the way for a minute. We're going to close them, and we're going to pick up Aerostar because they have a 737 in the afternoon that we're going to accept. Now, see how it overlaid? It's at the end of the time frame, and it's overlapping the first aircraft. We're going to click on it. We're going to click on it. Yeah, we are. Grab it, slide it over, and drop it down with 30 minutes between. So we're going to have it come in at 2:15. Now we're going to move this Forward Air flight back a little bit. This guy's set for 2 hours. We're going to drop that by 15 minutes. Now it's a half-hour window. It's an hour and 45 minutes on the gate. We're going to bring up the Forward Air flight to 4:30, and we're going to shorten it by 15 minutes. And now our afternoon is booked. Now we're going to roll to the nighttime, which starts at 6 p.m. We have some options. We're going to ignore Pacific Airlines for now. Aerotime has an Embraer 195. Aerostar has an Embraer 195. So we're getting a couple of ERJs. We'll go ahead and click on Aerostar. Accept it. Now remember, you've got to have runway lights to accept this flight. We're going to click on that. We're going to back it up so we have a half-hour window, and we're going to drop this down to an hour and a half because it's only 90 packs maximum. Then we're going to go up to Aerotime. We're going to take their Embraer 195, which it drops in. We're going to move it out so it's a half hour later. Give yourself that time, and we're going to bring it down so it's only 90 minutes on the gate. This works out. We could have gotten a flight in at 10 o'clock, but we'd have to make things really tight in this section. So we've currently got 7 aircraft on the schedule, a couple of 707s in the morning, some 737s in the day, and a couple of ERJ 195s at night. That's what our schedule looks like for day 1. We're not going to book the 767. We don't have room for another 195. And we're not going to pick up the Beechcraft 1900. The only reason you might want to pick that up is you build your approval rating with Pacific, and then they'll start giving you Airbus A320s, which are 150 packs. Okay? So our schedule is set. We are booked. We have basically 1 time slot left. We could fit in 1, maybe 2 more airplanes. But for now, we are ready for day 1. Okay? And to do that, we were going to just hit the button and go. But we're out of time for this episode. So we're going to save here. Overwrite our pre-existing save. So there's my timer saying we're out of time. I am going to let you folks see what we've got. We're looking at the end of our third tutorial episode. What we'll do is extend this a little bit, and we'll go into a fourth episode, maybe a fifth one, and we'll make a few little changes to things here and there, just to make them a little neater and work a little bit better. We're going to add some queue lines in the ticketing area. We may research and add a COO, but we're going to see how this airport performs. This is the basic career airport with just a few modifications. We've got almost 60,000 in the bank, and you can see how much money we've made from our flights there below recent transactions. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please put them below. I welcome constructive criticism or ideas on how I could make this video series better for you. But we're going to look at see how our airport performs tomorrow in our next episode, and we'll go through how some things are functioning. We'll look at how the PACs respond to our facilities and how we can improve them to make them happier. And then we'll look at picking up another set of flights as we pass through midnight and expanding our flight availability and scheduling. So I hope you learned some things. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Look me up on the Steam message boards. I'm under A-Train. Pick up a copy of SimAirport on Steam. It's only $20 in early access. Become part of the development team. Help us test. We're doing the testing stuff for the developers. They are real good at getting back to us, letting us know what's going on with things, where we stand, what's coming up, and they're taking our suggestions on how to improve this and make this an outstanding tycoon game for you to enjoy. So, again, my name's A-Train. Thanks for stopping in, and we will catch you next time.